Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for Championship preview and predictions round 24. We are going to try our damnedest. We're going to try our best. Half the games have been cancelled. It's been a nightmare day today. I've written stuff, corrected stuff, and then had it all just go down the Swanee. So I'm quite fed up with all the cancellations today. But yes, of course, I do understand the need for safety and all of that good stuff. There we go. Look, we're going to go through each and every game. There's only 6 left standing. We're on the 23rd. These games are on the 26th and the 27th. All the players are going to see their families. And then I bet some go on Boxing Day as well, in the Boxing Day round of tests as well. So look, we'll see what we're left with. We will predict what we've got right now as we speak. And look, whatever happens, happens. We'll try and have a normal prediction. So it's going to be quite short, given that there's only half the normal amount of games. Let me know that you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. I'm going to be in trouble for not having... What do I need to put up there? I need to put that up there, don't I? Deary me, for not having that up there. We are sponsored by Betfair and Football 365 for our Championship preview shows. Betfair, we will give you a little price on every prediction I make via the fabled Football 365 Championship Predictor game. Go and sign up, log in with your email address and get involved in the fun over there, football365.com. We thank both Football 365 and Betfair for their support of my silly little channel, making predictions about a very, very silly little league, hey? Best league in the world. We're going to say hello in the chat. Let me know if you're here and you're watching. We might have to go to some Q&A, so get your questions stocked up after we've done the predictions. And let me say a big thank you to the Donovan brothers who sponsor our show over on Patreon here. They're our fan sponsor, the Donovans. Good old Millwall boys sponsor. In memory of their dad, Dennis, and brother Mike, both sorely missed and cheering on Millwall from above. Thank you to the Donovans. And thank you to everyone who's got involved on Patreon. We're doing a Patreon roundtable after this. So if you are on Patreon and you want to come and join us afterwards, hit me up. You've got about an hour to go. And then we'll give you the link. All going to be good fun. Right, let's say some hellos to Aquatic, to Sam, to Lenny, to Napper's mum. There we go. Show some love to Izzy Brown. Bought 70 kits for... Oh, brilliant stuff. He is a good guy, Izzy Brown, isn't he? Very unlucky with injuries, isn't he? Phil, welcome. Ellis, first time in the live. As I always watch it as a video. You legend, Ellis. Get involved in the predictions, my friend. Dave, welcome. Hamza, Mr. E, Steve, Phil, Peter, Jimmy, Matt. Barnsley can't lose. No, they can't. A few teams in that boat today. Martin, hello. Have I said to everyone? Stephen, Dallas. Hopefully Santa has some wins in his bags for Birmingham. They need Santa's help at the moment, don't they, the Blues? They've been cancelled. We'll go through these games in a sec. Evening, Rebel City lad with Cluffy in his picture there. Jake, Ewan, Annie. Annie, are you joining us on the round table? You're going to be our special guest. Have I said hi to everyone? Jake, Iain, J-Lo as well. J-Lo, like Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer, as they say on South Park. Right, enough padding from me. There's 6 games to go through. And let's do this. Our normal game number 1 would be Fulham versus Birmingham. Alas, it was cancelled. So our number 1 game now is QPR versus Bournemouth. Get your predictions in. Assuming the game goes ahead, get your predictions in for QPR, draw, or Bournemouth. QPR, draw, or Bournemouth. Remember, this one's scheduled for the 27th as well. So fingers crossed the players are all wrapped up in bubble wrap and there's no load of cases there. QPR obviously coming back off cases. Get your predictions in, guys, please. QPR, draw, or Bournemouth. QPR, draw, or Bournemouth. Rangers up in 5th in the table. They haven't played for a while. You may as well just play your joker on these ones where the team hasn't played for a while. We don't know who's fit for Rangers. We don't know who's had COVID. We don't know who's been isolated. We don't know how long they've been back for. We don't know any after effects. We know nothing other than Rangers haven't played. Some players will actually be rested for QPR, but Bournemouth, not in good form. 21st in the 8-game league table. In fact, 6 points in 8 games. Bad run for Scott Parker, and they lost the game, didn't they, at the weekend to Middlesbrough. So, interesting matchup. Flip a coin, because we really don't know what the status of and the fitness of the QPR boys is. I can give you the tail of the tape, and you can get your predictions in QPR draw Bournemouth. QPR draw Bournemouth. Remember, look, I'm going to let you use the Joker multiple times today if you're talking about teams that have had cancellations because of COVID. I'll let you use that. Remember as well, we need your nil in somewhere as well. I've got one, actually, out of the 6 games. So there you go. That one hasn't been cancelled, has it? No. Right. Let's do the tail of the tape and then predictions, please. QPR draw Bournemouth. In the league table, Bournemouth by 3, but in the form table, QPR by 16 in terms of the last 8 games both sides played. Both sides get a tick for being high scorers. Bournemouth get a tick for having one of the top 6 defences in the league. Homes and aways, Bournemouth, despite their run, are still the number 1 away team in the league. QPR 6th best home team. They've been improving. Those 2 factors are going in different directions, by the way. QPR's home form's improving, whilst Bournemouth's away form, Bournemouth's form everywhere, is dropping off a little bit. XG, both sides outperforming their XG. QPR by a factor of 10 places, we think. They're either being very, very good finishing, or maybe other teams aren't taking their chances against them. Who knows? XG gives us a multitude of options there. What are you guys saying then? Let's dive into this. Draw. Okay, we get you. Cherries, draw. Bournemouth, Rangers, draw. Loads of draws. Desmond, Cherries, Rangers, draw. Rangers, Bournemouth, tough coming up from COVID. That's the other side of it. They might be rested. It might be tough. We don't know, do we? Cherries, Dave, be missing Chair, Kake and Dieng. Oh, that isn't starting yet, is it? That's not until January the 9th, I don't think. So they should be around for this, you would hope, wouldn't you? I mean, getting that soon, are they? And another Desmond there. Look, it's see which way the wind's blowing on this one. I have a strange hunch, and a strange hunch it is, home. So this is on the assumption that QPR's players aren't all completely away with the fairies after the... we think Omicron's milder, don't we? I think that's been concluded, but let's not get to epidemiology again, or political, or whatever you want to call it. So I think Rangers will be okay. I think Bournemouth are not in good form, and I think that continues. So I'm going to go 2-1 QPR on this one, which would be very bad news for Bournemouth, because it means their bad run extended to 9 games. You're going to get 17-2 over at betfair.com on that one, if you back that. And I am right on a 2-1 win to QPR. Let's move on to talk about Hull versus Blackburn. And fingers crossed, for God's sakes, because I've had a lot of writing go down the Swanee today. I've done 1,000 words on this for Football 365, a match preview for Hull and Blackburn. I beg of you to read it before the game gets called off, if it's going to get called off. Get your predictions in Hull, draw, or Blackburn. Hull, draw, or Blackburn. We are playing at the MKM. Hull have been in good form, but they did lose their last game at Forest, who are also good. I don't know whether that mitigates that. Blackburn are ridiculous at the moment. They're in amazingly good form. 8 wins in 10. Scott Wharton, centre-half, undefeated, 6 wins and a draw for him since he came back. And do I need to talk to you about the goal-scoring exploits of Ben Brereton Diaz? What a season he's having. 19 goals in 22 appearances for the Chilean sensation. Get your predictions in, guys. Hull, draw, or Blackburn. Now, we have to take into account the recent form of Hull. However, the tail of the tape goes very heavily in Blackburn's favour. So read into that what you will. It's not always right looking at the numbers pre-game, but I'll tell you them anyway. Blackburn in the table by 16. 8-game league table, Blackburn first, Hull third. In the form table, they're very close together. However, for goals scored, Blackburn top 6, Hull bottom 6, okay? For homes and aways, Blackburn 5th, Hull 22nd. XG, Blackburn 7, Hull 20th. So all of those metrics we normally use in this show all point at Blackburn. That doesn't always work, but you never know. A team at the bottom in good form, having just lost one, against a team at the top in frighteningly good form. So let's see what you say. Hull, draw, or Blackburn in this. What are we saying here? Oh, that's a good point, J-Lo. I didn't point out Rovers, 5 clean sheets in a row as well. Woof. There we go. Rovers, Blackburn. Shock win for Hull. Away, Blackburn. Sorry, what's wrong with my mouse? There we go. Desmond there. Draw. Blackburn, draw. Ellis, don't want to jinx anything. Tagging 3,000. That will fill that away and down at Hull. Blackburn will be all over this with a Brereton. And we'll leave the gap and move on to the next one. Diaz. Lenny McCann and a number of unnamed players and staff have COVID. Please don't get postponed. Oh, my God. Look, obviously, we hope those players are okay, but I've spent a lot of time writing about this. There we go. Blackburn. There he is. Blackburn blowing teams away. Blackburn win, but finally to concede. Hull to cause an upset. Says a lot. I'm more worried about Blackburn, says Hamza, the West Brom fan, than I am about Fulham and Bournemouth. Draw here. Sneaky 1-0 for Hull. 1-0 Lenny. Finn, Hull, 1-0. Keane, Lewis Potter, who, in my Football 365 piece, is the Hull player to watch, playing left wing back at the moment. But, yeah, hopefully what Lenny says doesn't come to pass and this one gets cancelled as well if there are COVID cases in the Hull camp. What am I saying? You need my prediction first. Away. I'm going with the numbers. You know me. I'm going to go for Blackburn in this. I think Hull will score, but Rovers got too much goal power, haven't they? And they do have the Chilean sensation up front. So I'm going to go 2-1 again. In fact, if I can find the actual game. So head over to Football 365, get your prediction in on the predictor. I've gone 2-1. You'll get 8-1 if that is your tipple at the weekend. 8-1. Blackburn to beat Hull. 2-1 over at betfair.com. And I'm supposed to say, please gamble responsibly. Be gambler, we're 18 plus only. Only bet what you can afford. Keep it fun, everybody. Right, on we go. Game number 4 of 6. We're going to be at the Q&A quickly today. Is Derby versus West Bromwich Albion. Get your predictions in, guys. Derby versus West Brom. Let me do my thing. Derby draw, West Brom. Derby draw or West Brom. Get them in the chat. I will tell you what I think, and then we will hear from you. Derby had a cancellation, didn't they? I think they're only 1 game behind. I think I am right in saying, I could be wrong about that. West Brom have played through, haven't they? We saw a very dull 0-0 between them and Barnsley on the watch-along last Friday. Hey, who am I to complain whilst all the postponements are happening about a 0-0? We'll take anything at the moment, won't we? Derby, of course, down at the bottom of the table. West Brom in 4th. West Brom have improved. They have closed up the gap on Bournemouth. However, is that more to do with Bournemouth's ineptitude than West Brom's form at the moment? They have, of course, let Blackburn snaffle in there in 3rd place. Predictions, please, guys. Derby draw, West Brom, Derby draw, or West Brom. The Daryl DK talk is ramping up on Twitter as well today, isn't it? You love to see Mr. DK return. Anyway, that's for another day in January, probably. Let me give you the numbers. You get your predictions. Derby draw or West Brom. League table, West Brom by 20. 8-game table, West Brom by 9. In terms of goals, a cross against Derby for goals scored, only 18. But a tick against both defences. Both these sides are in the top 6 for fewest goals conceded. The homes and aways, West Brom by 6. And in the XG, West Brom by 22. Woof. The numbers go with the baggies, as you would imagine. Let's see what you lot are saying in the chat on this one. Here we go. Right, we'll start with Phil. Derby, 0-0 for Jake. Baggies for Annie. Matt, West Brom seem to lack a top striker. I think we can all get behind that narrative. Agree there. Hugel doesn't seem to be doing the business. No. Joker out for Jay on a Derby win there. Baggies, Derby, Baggies, Derby, Baggies, 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 Derby, Derby. A few on Derby in this one. Baggies. It's a 0-0 for Sam. Draw. Baggies, Baggies, Baggies. Hamza. Eek. Right, click on the right button. Sorry. Someone needs to pick up those goal-scoring boots. Still say we're a DK away from automatics. Give us Mitro, and I think we'd be much higher. And he's gone for the draw. How low can you go down with the Mitro theory? If you gave Mitro to Preston, they'd probably finish about 4th, wouldn't they? But I know what you mean, Hamza. Woodbrow to West Brom is the talk. Yes, I've seen that as well. Tables, Derby 2-0. Rams are staying up and I'm not drunk. He started his Christmas Day drinking already. Guys, I think you know where I'm going with this. I've only got 6 fixtures, okay? So I'm going to let you see the beautiful faces of Sean Dyche and Neil Warnock. Out it comes. 0-0. Draw. I'm just going to go. I need to pick one out in this round, don't I? I'm looking at the fact that Derby are in the bottom 6 for goals scored, and both sides are in the bottom 6 in terms of, in the top 6 for goals conceded. And you've all just told me West Brom have no goal scorer at the moment. So I'm going to slide my 0-0 call in there, which means over at the Football 365 predictor, I do nothing, and I get 15-2. Betfair will give you 15-2 on a scoreless game. So remember that. If we get a super stream on Boxing Day, remember that there'll probably be a goal within about 3 minutes at Derby now. I've said it's going to be 0-0. That's the way we roll. Right. Postponement number 2 is Barnsley versus Stoke. So no Barnsley versus Stoke. Forgive me, I don't know which camp that is in, which will make a difference when we're looking at round 25, because, maybe that team's going to miss that one as well. When is round 25? It's before New Year's Day as well, isn't it? Yeah. Basically, I think if people are going to miss round 24, they're also going to miss round 25. We're going to have a busy time in January and February. Hopefully, all being well, everything will be back working. Right. Here is your game number 4 to talk about of 6. I think I said the last one was game number 4. I was wrong about that because Fulham got postponed, didn't it? We are talking Middlesbrough versus Nottingham Forest. Really good matchup, this one. Really good matchup. I damn well hope it goes ahead. Give me your predictions. Borough, draw, Forest. Middlesbrough, draw, or Nottingham Forest. And this is the battle of the two sides that are coming from a little bit further back, both in form, both got good managers doing well, new managers come in. Steve Cooper predates Chris Wilder a little bit, doesn't he? He's 15 games in. I think Wilder's only 5 or 6 games in now. Both sides look decent. Both sides moving up in the table. Looks very finely matched. And I'm about to do it, but for every argument I can give you for one team, there's a defence for the other team in another area. So this could be a tight one, couldn't it? Let me know what you think in the chat. Borough, draw, Forest. Borough, draw, or Forest. So in the table, Forest by 2. In the 8-game table, it's actually Forest by 8. Although if you were to shorten that down a little bit, last 4 games, Borough have been very good as well. So how far do you go back for your evidence? Here's where they even each other up. So Forest are in the top 6 for most goals scored. Borough are in the top 6 for the fewest goals conceded. And then on the homes and aways, it goes with Forest there as well. Forest are the 3rd best away team. Borough are the 8th best home team. However, if you think you've now got Forest ahead in the XG, Borough 3rd in the XG expected table. Forest 12th. So very much like a Steve Cooper team. Very efficient, that tells us. Predictions. This is the hardest one to call, in my humble opinion. Not like any championship game's easy to call, but you know what I'm saying, don't you? Borough, draw, Forest. Borough, draw, Forest. Get your predictions in. Interested to see where we skew on this one. Where shall we dive in here? It's Stoke's camp. Okay, Matt, thank you. Another 0-0 says, oh, was it 0-0 last time? Under two different managers or just one? I wonder, probably just one, isn't it? Was it 0-0? I thought Warnock won this one, didn't he? I can't remember. Right, where are we? Desmond for tables, a draw for Leeds. High-scoring draw, game of the round, hopefully. Jake, biggest game of the season. Unfortunately, they always beat us and they're in good form. Forest win, he says. I'm honest. Score draw, Benjamin. Mr. E, Forest. Away win, Rebel. Forest into the playoffs. Yes, Stoke aren't playing, are they? So the door's open. Forest Express, 2-1 win. Home, 0-0 for Jay. Forest, 0-0 for Lenny. Get your Warnock picture out there. Phil, Forest, Jimmy, draw. Jake, looking forward to this. Two masters of the championship. There have been in recent years, Cooper and Wilder. Wilder has mastered it. Cooper's come very close. Cooper the edge there. High scoring, says David. Forest. Forest for Hamza. Mac. Forest have no low. Spence. I'll say Tutu or Myton. Interesting. Phil, think Borough might nick it. Cole back at wing back. Interesting. Spock. Forest. Draw. John can't split them. Ellis can't split them. Forest can't. Sam. Forest. There we go. Borough because they're at home. And Tyler, does anyone want to tell Tyler that game's been postponed? We'll talk about it in a second. What are you going to do? Well, I need to give a prediction on this one. Look, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to do something very predictable. I just can't split these two. So draw. And when I think they're that tight, you know I'm going 1-1 as well, don't you? So let's go for the predictable outcome. Sometimes predictable is good. Sometimes predictable happens. That's why it's predictable. 5-1 over at betfair.com. 5-1 on Borough and Forest to draw 1-1. Please gamble responsibly. Postponement ahoy. Cardiff versus Coventry has gone. Again, someone in the chat will tell me which camp the tests are positive in that one. And we're going to move on to, this really is game 5 of 6 now. I am getting this right, hopefully. Huddersfield versus Blackpool. Get your predictions in, please, guys. Huddersfield, draw, or Blackpool in this one. Huddersfield, draw, or Blackpool. The Richard Keogh derby, shall we call it, over the past 2 seasons, very much. Predictions, guys. Huddersfield, draw, or Blackpool. Huddersfield, draw, Blackpool. And both sides that needed a win. Sorry, I'm having neck trouble again. Both sides that needed a win last week got a win, didn't they? Both trending downwards. Blackpool quite badly, actually. Huddersfield came close to winning against Coventry, didn't they? Until Matt Godden scored in the last minute. But they got their win down at the gate at Bristol City last time. Out, get your predictions in. Huddersfield, draw, Blackpool. Huddersfield, draw, Blackpool. So, tail of the tape in the league table, close. They're 3 places and 3 points apart, if my memory serves correctly here. Huddersfield 10th, Blackpool 13th, so Huddersfield by 3. The 8-game table does not read well for Blackpool. They've been on a poor run. They did win last week. Are they off their poor run? We'll find out. But Huddersfield by 7 in the 8-game table. Both sides in the bottom half, it has to be said. There, in terms of goals, there's no ticks, but the only cross goes against Blackpool's goals 4. They're in the bottom 6 for goals scored, Blackpool. Homes and aways, Huddersfield by 2, 9th to 11th there. XG, Huddersfield by 8. That may not be a bad thing, though, Blackpool's overperformance of their XG, because I think that's come from good finishing, particularly from Shane Lavery early in the season. I think it's pushed that number. Sometimes underperforming your XG is a good thing, not a bad thing. Is your glass half empty? Is your glass half full? You tell me. Huddersfield, draw, Blackpool. Huddersfield, draw, Blackpool. Let's see what you guys are saying. Another tricky one to call, isn't it? Where shall we dive in here? Tables. Blackpool sold out the away end, hoping the game's on. Me too. I can't sing that chant because of the profane language, but I assume Tables is going with Blackpool. Well, it's postponed. Sadly so, my friend. We're talking about the Blades game there. 0-0 Ewan. Joker Franier on Blackpool. Draw. Blackpool Sam. 0-0. Draw. Home for Dave. Draw Steve. Town for Matt. Udders for Jake. Not sure how to split these two. Tricky. Those two games, Forest and Borough, and this one are very hard to call. Two even teams in a lot of ways. Draw for Mr. E. Benjamin, Huddersfield, think they continue to push for a top half upper mid. We're going to prove me wrong if they do. I had them down in the relegation zone start of the season. As I have to admit that every time, else Huddersfield fans keep mocking me for it. I'll own up to my mistake. Fulham 58, Udders 2-1. Draw for Hamza. Huddersfield for Phil and Aquatic Sam. The Joker on Blackpool. Yeah, you should use your Joker how you see fit. He's gone for Blackpool. I haven't played mine, actually, have I? Can I do it on the next one? John, Huddersfield 2-1. Probably too strong for Paul. Don't read too much. That's a good point, actually, John makes about the Posh result. Posh are really bad away from home. So, I don't know. They still get confidence from it, can't they? Paul for Jake. Town for Leeds 2021 and Ellis. And for Adam. Tyler. Sad because the game is off on a good run. Well, I feel you. I'm sad because I wrote 250 words of a segment on Sheffield United and had to digit. And then wrote 250 words for Swansea really quickly. And then that game got called off as well. I've not had a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I am with the home team. Home. I just feel Huddersfield. I've just got probably about two more arguments for Huddersfield than I have for Blackpool. So I think Blackpool can score. I think that overperformance on the XG means they do have good finishers, and Anderson joining in as well with the strikers. Yates scored last time, didn't he? Medine. So I think they can score, but I'm going with Huddersfield, which means it's another 2-1 for me. 15-2 over at betfair.com. If you agree with me, please gamble responsibly. Thank you as ever to our sponsors, Betfair and Football 365. Right. Two more postponements. Preston versus Sheffield United. That went today. Those positives, I know they're in the Preston camp, aren't they? And Millwall, Swansea, that also went today. Those positives are in the Millwall camp. At least the Swansea fans don't have the ridiculous scenario of they're allowed to travel, probably a couple hundred miles, maybe not quite 200, but a lot of miles over to London to watch a game, but they can't watch one in their own hometown. But let's not go down that road because it's, as I wrote in my column earlier, it's neither clever nor helpful to point out inconsistencies and deal with COVID. You're only ever 5 seconds away from finding one, aren't you? Right, so last game we need to call then is Luton versus Bristol City, please, guys. Luton versus Bristol City. Get in the chat. Luton, draw. Bristol City. Hatters, draw. Robins, however you want to call it. Get your predictions in for Bristol City and their trip up to the Kenny. Fingers crossed it goes ahead. Bristol City. Now, be careful with Bristol City because they were good away and then bad at home. And then they were good at home and bad away. But they just lost their last home game. So are they now going to become good away and bad at home? Which means they'll win, if that is the case. Check out on Football 365 as well. A good bit on Andy Vyman of Bristol City. He is my player to watch. Please, the game goes ahead. Goodness me. So, Luton, what did Luton do last time? They were cancelled. But the game before that, good draw against Fulham. I know Fulham have dropped off, but look, it's a decent result to draw with Fulham for Luton. Not last round, but the round before. So, predictions, please, guys. Luton draw, Bristol City. Luton draw, Bristol City. Let me give you the numbers, and then we'll see what you guys are saying. And then we're going to Q&A after that. So don't put them in yet, but have a think about your questions. Right, Luton in the league table by 4. Luton in the 8-game table by 3. Both sides in the bottom third, actually. In fact, 16th and 19th. Here's an interesting one for you. In terms of goals, we can give Luton a tick for goals scored. They're in the top 6. We've got to give Bristol City a cross for goals conceded. that may skew you towards Luton. I don't know. Completely even on homes and aways. Luton are the 14th best home team. Bristol City are the 14th best away team. The XG, we know, we've said this all season. Luton post very good XG. They're underperforming that XG in terms of, we don't know. We don't know in terms of those penalty boxes where they're not quite making up in terms of chances created, chances conceded. Luton by 13 in the XG, and Luton are 4th in the XG expected table compared to 14th in the real table. So they'd love to square that circle, wouldn't they, Luton? But hey, look, we've discussed that ad infinitum on here, haven't we? Let's have a look here in the chat. What do we got here? Where are we going to land? Martin, Luton, Ewan, Luton, Jake, Luton, Liam. Draw, but we won't get anything from this if Pearson keeps playing Scott and Benarous at wing-backs when he has fit wing-backs. But he trusts the youngsters, Liam, doesn't he, over... maybe making a point by doing that. We've seen managers do that before. Average J, Home, Steve, Home, Aquatic, Luton, Jake, Luton, Sam, Luton, all day long. End of debate, end of story. What's the other one people say? It's not even close. There we go. Luton playing finally, hopefully. Don't put the mockers on it, Stephen. Got to back my boys. 2-0. Luton another 2-1. Dave with Luton. Mr. E with Luton. What is wrong with my mouse today? There we go. A draw for Phil. Luton. There we go. There's an away win for David. Luton for Wayne. Luton for Ellis. And Adam, you're heavy on Luton, you lot here. There we go. Jimmo, Sam. Tyler doesn't get the betting numbers. Don't get involved in it as well. I'll leave it out, John. Right. You're on my SHIT list now for later, John. Luton 1-0. Don't mention Voldemort. Jimmy, Luton. Right. Well, I'm going to agree with you lot then. Home. Let's go for Luton then to win this one. And let's also go for Luton to actually make up their XG and score some goals. I think Bristol City will score. Bristol City are got good players, Bristol City. It's just not kind of all adding up for them. Well, not for the longest time now. 3-1. Let's go 3-1. And you will get 11-1 from betfair.com on that one. There we go. That concludes the predictions part. Let's do some Q&A. So as I round up the predictions, I should just say Peterborough versus Reading. Postponed, gone, finito, done. Peterborough versus Reading would have been our last one. Right, get questions in. I'll just do a quick little roundup over on the Football 365 predictor facility there, football365.com. Go along the top, sign up with your email, get involved. I know loads of you in the chat are beating me. I'm terrible, aren't I? I blame the fact I have to present and make the predictions at the same time. That's why I'm so bad at it. But you guys are much better than me. Go and get involved. I'll have a word with Mark at Football 365. We'll sort some kind of prize for the winner at the end of the season. That's on me. If that doesn't happen, I'll sort some kind of prize. There we go. So do get involved. Here's a quick roundup with lots and lots of postponements. Posh Reading off, Fulham Birmingham off. I've gone for 1-1 Borough Forest. I've gone for Huddersfield over Blackpool, Luton over Bristol City, Millwall Swans off, Cardiff Coventry off, Preston Sheffield United off, Barnsley Stoke off. I've gone for Blackburn over Hull. That'd be 9 wins and 11. Woof. I've played a 0-0 on Derby Baggies, and I've gone for QPR. Not that we have any idea about their players' fitness. I've gone for QPR over Bournemouth as well. I'm going to submit my predictions. Ignore those odds down there because they're taking a lot of 0-0s that are in games that aren't actually happening. I need to sign in. I'm not going to do that in front of your face. So let me just click here and I will press some buttons so I can submit my predictions. So you know I have done it. Come on, sign me in. Right, let's go back to the other screen so you don't see what my password is and go and hack my predictions. Confirm. There we go. Have I done it? Submit my... There it is. It's all grayed out now and we are all sorted. Right. Let's go to some Q&A. We'll try and do maybe 5-10 minutes of this if you are enjoying. Right. Let's go in. David, would you know if the games are available on iFollow Boxing Day? Surely the Welsh teams, if they play at home, their games should be on iFollow. I'm not sure. That comes outside the Saturday blackout, doesn't it, David? Anyone know that in the chat? I hope so. Ellis, do you think Blackburn can get playoffs, maybe even automatically? Fan base is riding the wave. I don't think they'll get automatic, Ellis. That would be very Norwich 18-19, where it clicks, they start winning and they just don't stop. I think 2 parachute teams will get the top 2 places. If they get in the playoffs and they've held on to all their players, who knows? Who knows for the Rovers? Look, we're loving them at the moment. It's great to see the parachute cartel broken up at the top by Blackburn. Jay, Saturday Works Christmas party. Not a good one. I'd love to give you a 10-0 win, Jay. I know you're a Blues fan, but it's been postponed. Woof. Sam, can you predict the future 2026 England World Cup squad? That's a great question. So how long is that? 5 years away from now. So who's in it that will still be in it? Reece James will still be in it, won't he? Ramsdale will probably still be in it. Who are the young players? Mount will probably still be in it. The great thing about the England 2026 World Cup squad is there is a player that, unless you've really got your ear to the ground, none of us have probably ever heard of that will be in that squad. It'll be like 2021. Saka, Smith Rowe, they should still be in it by then. Good question, that. Really good question. Ben, at one time, was Boxing Day was always... Yeah, and we will fight forevermore because of Boxing Day. Hark now hear the Ipswich sing, the Norwich run away. Ralph, will clubs be wary of loaning out fringe players in January with ongoing COVID situation? Yes, unfortunately. But what else are they going to do? Unless we get an extension on the transfer window, which would make some sense, Ralph, especially on the loan window as well. Maybe they'll do that. Leeds game postponed. Thoughts, Ben? Probably a good thing given all the injuries. I know there's lots of nefarious accusations being labelled at any team, frankly, that now cancels a game. But it won't do Leeds any harm to get some of those players back. Bamford, Phillips, Rodrigo, Cooper, spine of the team. Are we singing a carol on the round table? Absolutely. We're going to sing several, aren't we? Hugh, West Brom supposedly looking at Callum Lang. Do you see any chance in that move happening? No, I don't. I don't think he fits the profile of what Big Val needs at the moment, which is his big number 9 pressing guy. Surely they're going to move heaven and earth to get Daryl DK, aren't they? Adam, what do you do? Shop late or have great preparation for shopping for Christmas? I have a highly efficient missus who knows how to work Amazon very well. So she's in charge. And I think we're all okay and sorted, Adam. Leeds, is there a Boxing Day super stream? Maybe. We're coming back from Chichester. So if we get back, if I'm back here by 12, we'll get on for the 3 p.m.s for sure. Last week's predictions were a disaster. Well, that's every week from me, isn't it? There we go. Oh, they're on the red button. There you go. Thank you, Ellis. So we don't need diddly doodah. I follow. Jay, the teams whose fixtures have not been hit hard by COVID do better than teams that have been hit hard. Can I bail out of that question, Jay, and say I think resources matter more than fixture lists. So I think if you're a small team with a small squad, no offense, I don't patronise anyone calling them a small team, you'll struggle. If you're a big team, you'll have a better chance of surviving, especially a big team playing a small team where both fixture lists have been sort of messed with. But yeah, I mean, it killed Rotherham at the end of last season, didn't it? So there you go. Yeah, red button, great stuff. So I follow. You'll probably get it on both, but press the red button. That'll be cheaper, won't it? Aquatic Forest to go up then, Ben. It could happen. It could happen. They're looking all right bet for the playoffs now. I've said the only issue I've got with Forest is so they've done basically automatic promotion form for 16 games now, 15 with Steve Cooper. They pretty much need to do it again for probably another 10 games to get in there and stable in there. There's not much margin for error. If there's a low tide, I think Forest will get in though, won't they? Seeing as it's Christmas, would the consumption of whiskey be allowed? Absolutely. What else have we got? Liam, do Bristol City need a big January transfer window? Yes. Yeah, they do, don't they, Liam? Not necessarily big in terms of number, but they need a couple of players that are proper Nigel Pearson players that are going to go straight into the first team, I think. And you already mentioned him, keep playing the youngsters. He's very much signalled to the CEO that's what he wants. Did I see Jared Bowen's goal last night? No, I did not. No, I was working last night, strangely. Sam, would you take an owner changing the whole identity of Ipswich badge colours if it meant Premier League? That's a great question, Sam. Honestly, guaranteed Premier League football, I'd think about it. And then probably when we got it, I'd be sad that the old Ipswich was gone. But look, you're talking to supporters of a club that just have not done anything for 15, 20 years. So we just sell your soul to the devil. There you go. David, from what I heard, the Mill game was the amount of staff out with COVID, making it... Oh, interesting. Okay. There's a multitude of reasons why these games are going. Where's Morgan? Get him. I am all over that. I want to see that happen, Annie. That sounds like a brilliant deal to me. Right, you lot. If you're on Patreon, shoot us a message in the next 15 minutes and we'll get you on a round table. We'll see David and we're going to have Annie on. I think John's been in. We're going to see him as well. I'll do one more for Tyler. How do you think Newcastle will sign? I think they're going to struggle. I think it's going to be a little... Do you remember the first Chelsea transfer window under Abramovich where they signed a load of players and, okay, there were some gems in there, but there were a lot that... I think same with Man City and sort of Robinho early on in those days. I think there might be a little bit of a struggle short term. There we go. Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Apologies, we had to go a bit early. We're doing a Patreon thing at 7. If you do want to sign up over on Patreon, I think the lowest tier is like $3 or £3 or something like that. So do get involved, support the channel. It's always be free on here, but the amount of time I spend on it, if you do want to give like a little tip, like sticking something on the piano after you've been in a bar with a pianist in, it's just like that, really. So awesome stuff. Thank you, all you lot. We should, and I'll give you a spoiler alert because we're watching, you're watching now and you're all the way into the stream. We should be able to get a video out as well tomorrow, hopefully before I go down south for Christmas. Having a look back at my predictions, my higher or lower by Christmas predictions. So wait for that. Don't go back and watch the videos. Wait for that. We'll try and get something done on that. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for the best wishes here. David, legend. Jake, you're all legends. Annie, yeah, we'll see you in a bit. Martin, Lee, we'll also see you in a bit. You've got to get on Patreon just to see Lee Pitts on the bloody hilarious Yorkshire man, that guy. Well worth the subscription. Leeds 2021 legend, always on the channel. Hugh, up the Wigan for Hugh, even though they're mocking Ipswich this season and being a lot better. Hamza, we're going to get you on the Patreon roundtable, my friend. Jay, see you soon. Right, thank you, everybody, for watching. If I don't see you before, give me a shout on Twitter or on YouTube, and happy Christmas to everybody. Stay safe, and yeah, we'll see you all very soon. And look, up in the air what we're doing on Boxing Day. We'll see how many fixtures there are left, and whether I've got back safely from a couple of days with the in-laws down in the south. Should be lovely. I should be nice and refreshed. Thank you all for watching. Over and out. Oh, one more quick plug. In fact, we'll play the Championship 365 advert on the way out if you want to get involved with me and Ben HD and Justin and Ryan as well from the second tier. Thank you all for watching, and I'll roll the Championship 365 ad instead of the normal one. See you later, everybody. If you're enjoying this show, then why not check out Championship 365?
The only area to find Benjamin Bloom, the second tier podcast, and myself, Ben HD, all in the same place.
We'll debate the key topics and interact with you, our community of subscribers.
And we'll be releasing 2 exclusive weekly videos.
So visit www.network.planetsport.com.
Championship 365, 3 creators, 1 community.